Hello Squad. Today we're here to talk about why it's in your self-interest to be against censorship.
Let's keep going. You sure? Yeah.
These days I hear a lot of arguments about censorship revolve around how it's a violation of civil rights and how it's wrong and stuff like that. In this video, I'd like to go over some reasons why it's in your self-interest to advocate against censorship. First, by imprisoning them, you concentrate them and make them more able to organize and recruit, giving them the shared resentment of imprisonment. You also mix the merely sympathetic with the hardcore believers. This makes hardcore believers appear correct because they've been imprisoned, and then they can essentially preach to the merely sympathetic or just other people who have the shared resentment of being in prison. For example, this happens all the time in U.S. prisons, which are divided into racialized gangs. People will have to, for protection, essentially become tribal. They'll have to join racialized gangs where race is important, and they have to become racialized in prison. On top of that, we have concrete examples of this. ISIS's core got its start in Camp Bucca. Al-Baghdadi served time there. And what happened was the extremists instituted Sharia law and either radicalized or forced the other moderates into line. And so this is how ISIS got its start, in prison. Second, it drives the movement underground. You're limiting your ability, essentially, to monitor and combat these groups. Anonymous disabled thousands of ISIS accounts, and this may or may not have caused some harm to intelligence operations. For example, in 2015, ISIS headquarters was bombed within 24 hours because of a selfie somebody took in front of their headquarters. Third, it's bad optics for the protected groups. Do you really think it's a good optics to say minorities can't handle merely somebody speaking? Honestly, on a more personal level, it's a release valve. All the feminists and the communists screaming about the oppressive capitalist patriarchy, it feels good, right? I mean, it feels like you're fighting the good fight. Now, there's a person I've interacted with, and according to him, he and his friend may go to jail over free speech. Has that shut him up? No. He's continued, despite this threat, continued risking imprisonment. Now, I have to ask, many of you who are political, would you stop? Would it change any of your beliefs or those of your friends if you got arrested for speaking out? Would it not make you more likely to hold more firmly onto your beliefs? Would it not turn you into a martyr to your friends and others? This is something you need to understand. People rarely view themselves as the villain. Your opponents likely think they're fighting for the righteous cause as well. And finally, does it even work? You look at Germany. In June, German police raided 36 homes over social media posts. Most of these were right-leaning posts. And then what happened? 3 months later, Alternative for Germany is the third largest party in Germany. Merkel's having a hard time forming government, in fact. So it didn't work on that front. A bit more personally, Zinnia Jones started a false flagging campaign against me, and I gained 18 plus followers. And I wanted to thank all of you for subscribing. I hope you enjoy my content. So to conclude, 1, it concentrates and radicalizes the group. 2, it drives the movement underground and less able to be monitored. 3, it's bad optics for the, quote, protected groups. 4, it creates martyrs. 5, it doesn't work. And finally, you might be next.